What's up? This is Six Leaf Clover Fighter here, and I'm very excited to announce that I'm going to be attending my first chess tournament today. How does this happen? Well, I'll tell you how. I went to work today. I woke up at 5:30. I didn't have much sleep. I went and got my morning coffee, and I went to work. The charge nurse said I wasn't on the schedule. Why? Well, weeks ago I traded my Monday for somebody else's Friday. So instead of working today, I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week instead of Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Meaning, since it's a Monday, there's a chess tournament, a USCF chess tournament. So for this episode, this is the miscellaneous category. I'm going to teach you the Nimzo-Indian and Bogo-Indian defenses, sometimes called complexes. Um, and then we'll see what else I want to do. It is currently 8:14 a.m. I've been up for a couple hours. I played some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I got my wife into that. I'm excited to play it with her later as well. So, what should you know about the Nimzo Indian and the Bogo Indian? Well, they are relatively passive. And I'll tell you why I like it that way. Press the F10 again. I wonder. I don't know if. Okay, you can flipboard. Okay. So, they're relatively passive, and I'll tell you why I like that. So, if somebody plays e4, they're looking for tactical games, open tactical games. That's why I love the Scandi so much. You are immediately confronting e4 and saying, I'm going to take away your e4 pawn. If you want to keep it, fine, I'll get early advantage. Potentially, depending on what they play. If they play knight f3, which I play, then they're looking for a closed-off positional good game. However, d4 players, what a d4 player wants is a positional game, right? I will say, against d4 Scandi, because it's very confrontational. But, okay, you want a tactical game? I'm going to give you a tactical game. Let's play. Let's fight. d4. If I see d4, what are they wanting? They're wanting to play Queen's Gambit. They're wanting to play London system, Coley system, potentially the Trumpowski attack, which I will show you why you shouldn't worry about the Trumpowski as a Nimzo player. But yeah, so they play d4. They want to play a positional game instead of playing something wild like c5 or something. They're like, okay, I will respond with knight f6. That's the most popular response against d4. Why? It's so flexible. Starts, you can play the King's Indian, you can play the Nimzo-Indian, you can play pretty much anything. Most likely they'll play c4. If you play e4, you want to play d4. If you play d4, you want to play c4. That's how it works. What do you play against this? Instead of going into something completely wild like the Budapest Gambit or playing the King's Indian, which I will briefly go over and why it's not my favorite, play e6. Feels very passive. You can see how drawish it is. But I'll show you why I love it so much. you're delaying like a d5. Like even if they played e4 at some point. So okay, let's just keep it simple. Knight c3. Okay, this is the start of the Nimzo-Indian with bishop b4. Bishop b4 is an amazing idea because you're pinning the knight to the king. You're preventing an e4 push, which they want to play. You're already preparing the castle. And you're going to strike with d5 at some point, or even c5. Lots of options. Lots of options. E3. E3, surprisingly, is the most popular. We're going to... I have my app pulled up. I want to just use it to help me with this study. So, E3. Okay. What do you play in this situation? Well, lots of choices, right? You're still maintaining this pin. So if you want to capture right away, you can. Double their pawns. Just keep in mind, with this opening, you have to be willing to give up your bishop here. It's just how it is, right? Knight e4 is premature. You're not going to get anywhere with that. But okay, let's see what we got here. Let's just start with the classical. Let's just take a step back. This is the classical. We'll promote this. So, what's the plan with the classical? Well, idea is you trade, and now they don't have to double up their pawns. So what do? Simply just castle. You're still maintaining the pin. Just castle, right? They'll kick, and the cool thing is, a few different things. You can bishop e7 is fine, but just trading is fine as well. Again, you're giving them a positional game, and you can immediately jump in with knight e4. This is a really nice idea because tempo moves. Now, you can plan on playing one of these moves in the future, either f5 or d5, which is cool. Actually, you're going to just go and play f5 immediately. You're anchoring this knight here. You can see you're really going after the king side of the board. This knight is really strong. It's a good outpost, and just know they can't kick it. Why can't they kick it? I'll show you. Let's just assume that they kick it. Yeah, no game found. Why? Because of this trap. Block, take, capture, and you went over rook. So that's why there's no master game with that. So you do not have to worry. You never, I say never, you really never want to kick a knight with the f-pawn. I made it a rule. Never kick the knight with the f-pawn. Ever. Unless you have a really good reason to. So yeah, that's why e6 is pretty much forced. They want to get their light squared bishop out. And notice that this is a bad bishop now. Which is great because you don't have your dark squared bishop anymore. So the fact that that's a bad bishop is great. Like I said, c5 is a very common idea in the Nimzo-Indian. Just strike the center. Your queen, look at how much activity your queen already has. Like it has a lot of options. So, okay. Maybe they'll develop. You can develop. And they might. This knight's super strong, so they'll probably just want to capture off. And know that you are actually giving up a pawn. You're down in exchange. But you're okay with that because, like I said, you want to eventually strike with d5. d5 is great. It's a great idea. You're just so many tempo moves. Capture towards the center. I mean, you're down a pawn. It's almost like you gambited off a pawn. And you keep trading pawns. It's like, what are you doing? You have a pawn island. This just doesn't look the best. But look, notice how we're just continuing to go after this queen. This misplaced queen. And now we see just how much activity we have. And how we're threatening a fork as well. Keep in mind, white hasn't castled. Look at how much activity we have. Notice, again, we are down a pawn. Right? So if that makes you uncomfortable, maybe this is not a good choice. We can easily connect our rooks as well. This is just great. We have so many attacking chances. They'll probably have to play f3. Just protect g2. That's fine. We jump into here now. We have to be aggressive with this opening because, again, we are down a pawn. So instead of just simply trading off for the bishop, e5. e5. Notice that the d4 pawn is pinned. We are actually attacking it with our knight, our pawn, and our queen. And white's position is kind of crumbling. Notice our threat as well. Bishop f5 is terrifying for white because, well, it's a skewer for one. Our rook fortifies f5. We have a strong knight. White has not castled. This is a terrifying, but this is not a position white wants to be in. Show this picture. Show a picture of this position to a chess player, and say, "Look, you're up a pawn, but would you want to be white in this position?" I guarantee you, they would say no. They would not want to be white. So okay, they're finally preparing to castle now. Again, just skewer them. Just skewer them. Now what? This is minus 5.5 for black. Even before skewering them, it's minus 4.3. You can see how scary the Nimzo-Indian is. Yes, we gave up a pawn. Right? But even so, look at the threats. We're down a pawn, but this is just completely winning. Completely winning. We are absolutely annihilating them. So don't be fooled into thinking this is only a passive opening. because it most certainly is not only passive. I would even argue that this is quite an aggressive opening, depending on what is done. So let's go back to a little bit too far ahead. Let's go back to this position. What if they say, okay, I just need to castle? Well, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to hit. Now, obviously, block is possible, and that's what's going to happen. But then we just trade off, right? We're saying, I don't want you to castle. We trade everything off. Queens are off the board. Now we're just playing structural chess. Now they cannot get up a pawn. And we could fianchetto our bishop. We can, if they ever trade us off, that's fine. We'll have this semi-open file. Yeah, their rooks are connected. We do have weaknesses. I'm not gonna lie. We have some weaknesses, but that's every opening. But it's only slightly better for white. So if white plays perfectly, just like with any opening, white plays perfectly, they'll be able to keep their advantage. That's just how it is. That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be. So it's a classical. Those are the two variations I want to show you for the classical. Let's go to another variation. I'm not sure what this one's called, but it's not a good move, and I'll show you why it's not a good move. Let's say they play this. You can see we've already equalized. Instead of the engine recommendation, I like just trading. Now we can immediately jump here. We're going to solidify. Not solidify. We're going to fortify our 9 at some point. Maybe they'll do this. They'll trade off. And they'll castle. And you have... White kind of has the center. But again, we can strike back with d5, c5 at some point. Obviously not now. That just gives up a pawn. Actually, I changed my mind. Probably not c5 in this situation, but strike back with d5 at some point. Well, actually, first d6. d6 is good. So you'll tuck your knight here. Simple development. And we are not overextending. I think still in the future d5 at an opportune time might be good. But notice how we're just making small improvements. Just making small improvements. And now instead of d5 we strike back with e5. And I'd say this is a good game. Look at how extended these pawns are. Yeah, we do have a backwards pawn on c7, but we have a bishop eyeing the king side. We have a semi-open file for our rook. Maybe we can rook left at some point, and I don't know. Maybe we can maneuver this knight over to the king side. Maybe we can even play f4 at some point, or f5. My apologies. As you can see, Engine likes black, just a little bit, just a little bit more. This is the kind of position you want with the Nimzo-Indian. It's hard for white to break through here. It's just the reality of the situation. Not easy. What if instead I'm trying to find where things differ. Okay. So we made progress on the queen side with a5, right? What if instead they decide to attack our bishop? In this situation, this is a great idea for white because our bishop is a lot better than theirs. Theirs was not very good. So, okay, we're forced to trade, right? Knight captures back so they don't damage their structure. We can still tuck our queen here. And really, same idea. They're gonna improve their rooks. But we haven't overcommitted anything. Again, maybe we want to play one of these moves at some point. It's hard to say. Just know that if you play like c5, you are kind of overextend. Like you might overextend, create weaknesses, like here. So Engine's just saying, just slowly progress, slowly attack the queen side, and that's you have to be very patient when playing the Nimzo-Indian. You just do. It's a very, very good opening, and it always will be. Just be ready to play a nice positional game. If you're not a positional player, maybe go for something like the King's Indian, even though that can get very positional too. Or go for something like I don't know. That's the thing. There's not a whole lot of go for like a Dutch, maybe even. Dutch is kind of positional, but you can play like the Leningrad that has a lot of really tactical, strong ideas. So okay, those are some options. What about the Samish? Samish is simply, yeah, this is the Samish. It doesn't say that yet. Yeah, now it's the Samish. So we have an accelerated Samish. Let's turn Engine off. Okay, Engine really likes tripling their pawns like immediately. We'll ignore that for now, and we're just gonna start going after weaknesses immediately. You're like, oh, we're going to fianchetto? Absolutely not. We're going to immediately attack this pawn. Now, of course, they have a bishop defending it, but uh, white has already some issues, right? We just have a lot of threats right now. So wait, I messed something up. My apologies. I was like, wait a second, something's wrong. Yeah, it's not right. So after b6, they play this. This is if you are familiar with the King's Indian defense, this is why this is the same-ish variation. Because of f3. After f3, okay, now we are attacking this, and they have to play e4 to defend it. So e4 comes. Just develop our knight. We want them to overextend at this point. We want something like that. But okay, here comes this. It's gonna look weird, but we can just reroute our knight. We have no problem with it. We are playing nice positional chess. But before we even do that, let's just attack this pawn. You can see black has a really nice game here. Something like this. Well, our knight's fortified. We can even fortify this bishop. We'll probably try to go after our rook. But instead of moving our rook, play c6. c6 is nice. Now, again, they have to protect this. Now we can play c5. And now we are threatening. We have so many threats. Like, look at this. So much is going on. We still are wanting to reroute that knight and castle. But white's kind of overexerted themselves, and while we have a nice pawn structure, theirs is not so nice. Not so nice at all. I don't know what this bishop wants to do. This bishop's kind of being overworked. It's just moving around, just trying to hang on. But it really can't. It can't do everything. So okay, white does that. Yeah, I was gonna say this is better for black. If you want to play this, if you just want to copy them, play it. But because this kind of fixes their issues, right? This undoubles their pawns. But then we actually come up a pawn. So white's falling apart. They can't trade. They'll lose material. Let's just say they do. Since you're going to be wanting material, don't capture with the knight. Capture with the bishop. Now they can't trade. They can't trade the queens because we're up a pawn. So you can see how dangerous the sandwich is for white. They willingly double their f-pawns. You can play an early c5 to triple it and really create weaknesses. Or you can just play like this. You have lots of options. Lots of really good options with the Nimzo. Now there's another line of the sandwich I'm going to show you. And I'm just seeing where it differs. So, okay. So, again. Bishop's going to pop out. We're going to shut him down, right? He'll come back. Strike. Let's say instead of developing their knight, they play d5. If you see this, we can just capture. We're fine with that. Why? Because this pawn's pinned. This is horrible. They can't take, or else they lose their bishop. So just also know that that pawn is pinned to their bishop. So their bishop is really, it's a liability for them. It really is. It's not so fun. For white. Usually a knight on the rim is grim. But our knight just, our knight's doing some cool stuff. It is protecting our bishop. Our queen's also protecting our bishop. Really it's this. Our knight can dream maybe eventually to go here. At some point. It's hard to say. We can always just maneuver it. Right? These are the kind of positions that you're going to get with the Nimzo-Indian. Now, I did mention the Leningrad Dutch. There's actually a Leningrad Nimzo-Indian as well. So what does that look like? Well, it looks like this. This is the Leningrad. It looks scary. Now, I want you to remember, if you see bishop g5, immediately strike back with c5. Just do it. Automatically. This creates a lot of problems. We're fine. We are completely fine with them trading, right? But they'll probably move back and say, okay, if you want to weaken your king side, go for it. Do it. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to play this g5 move. We're going to play d6. Look at our pawn structure. It's a very nice pawn structure. You can see that Stockfish favors us. Again, this is strange. Because usually when we play as black, it's hard to equalize, but we've already equalized. And remember, we still have this knight pin. We can trade it off anytime. There's no rush to trade it off, right? This bishop cannot even retreat back here. Maybe at some point they'll play this, going for a classical idea. In the meantime, we'll castle. They still have not done anything. So at any time, we can snatch this knight off, right? You could see initially Stockfish like that. But now we're not doubling anything. So, I don't know. Stockfish likes connecting our knights. We can even play g5 now. If we want. With the idea being we want a pawn. Now, we're up a pawn, but Stockfish, it's not Stockfish's favorite. I like this position. we are up upon. Just know, just know if you play this line, your king is weakened. Like they have potentially some nice attacking options against your king. If you're not comfortable with this, just connect your knights. Just connect your knights. Just take the stockfish recommendation and play positionally. You're gonna have a great game. I think G5 is great. You come up a pawn again. You have to think. You can't always listen to stockfish. You have to think in terms of what a human wants from an opening or just middle game. What does white want when they play d4? They want a nice positional game. If they play e4, they might want to gambit, right? There's really not too many gambits for d4. They don't want to be down a pawn. If you force them to be down a pawn, they might even think that they messed up. And don't underestimate how psychologically debilitating that might be for an opponent. So I've shown you lines where we're happy to be down a pawn and we're happy to be up a pawn with the Nimzo-Indian. It's great. That's what we want to see. So it's another Leningrad variation where let's just go through. Where they capture this pawn. This is bad. This is bad for them. Stockfish says triple their pawns. Punish them immediately. Triple their pawns. Did I really like this move? Or just immediately going after a weakness. And they might play e4. If they mess up and play e4, then we can go ahead and capture. We can kick the bishop now. And that bishop's not really doing much. Right? Again, we can take it now. Stockfish says take it. Or we can threaten things on this diagonal and play here. Again, Stockfish doesn't like as much, but this looks a lot scarier. This looks a lot scarier. I don't really know why this move would be played, but if they do play it, there's this. And they've just... they've fallen apart. So it depends on what you want to do. If they capture, you can just go and capture, triple their pawns, and then play here. And we still have the same attack. And this is just deadly. Like, look at this. I would say this line's probably better. I'm going to promote. Just triple their pawns immediately. And just eat them for breakfast. Yes, they're up a pawn, but we actually have a better position. Isn't that wild? This is why I love the Nimzo-Indian. It's just such a strong opening. And don't be overwhelmed by the fact that there's a lot of drawish games. Because look, most games are draws. In the Lee Chess database, most games are draws. Remember, the perfect game of chess will end in a draw. So, Just know that. And I actually will be right back. Okay, so there is another line I want to show you. Well, there's a few. Well, a couple more. This is called the normal line. And for some reason, did not have that flipped. Okay. So the normal line or St. Petersburg variation is after this. This is the normal line. Do not capture, as tempting as it may be. Watch. Look. White has just White has a bishop pair, and yeah, you double their pawns, but you don't really have much to show for it. So don't capture. Instead, play this. Going into the St. Petersburg variation. I think this is stronger. So, well, you know, I would say developing the bishop's probably practically better than connecting the knights. But yeah, you can connect the knights. Just going fianchetto, and now we have something that almost looks like. This always reminds me of like a Nimzo Larson. We have bishops. It's going all the way, just cutting across. Very strong. Probably want to play here, shutting down that bishop a little bit because their pawn was hanging. They don't want to move their bishop back. They can just castle. Nothing wrong with that. They can castle. Now we can play d6. No need to play d5. That would kind of hurt our bishop. They can just shut us down really easily. Like this, we can connect our knights. They might reroute theirs. Really, we're just playing chess, but now we can see that we can break through with e5. We have a game. We have a game. This is better for white. I'm not gonna lie, but the computer recommends 94, but I don't know if this is super good. Well, I mean it is, but like, okay, we're gonna take back, right? If they take back with the bishop, then we take their knight. So they take with the knight. I don't know. D5 might be a little intense for a Nimzo player. You know what I mean? Just know that in the St. Petersburg or normal line, this is going to be kind of hard to deal with. I'm not going to lie. Again, you can also castle. This is the engine recommendation. Just castle. And then strike with d5. Kick your bishop? Okay. Then you can trade. Or you can retreat. It's up to you. Now that I'm looking at this line, We've already equalized. I think this is probably, and with the c5 idea, I think this is probably better than the fianchetto line. I'm just playing the engine recommendations. Castle, and then look. I mean, our pawn structure is really great. This is like kind of quite aggressive as well. Like I even assume that we want to play Bishop G4 at some point. Maybe even next move. What if Bishop G4 now? Okay. Actually, Stockfish doesn't mind it that much. I mean, it's not a good move, right? But like, it's okay. They're saying just capture. So I actually decided this line. I'm gonna promote it. I think this is the way to play the against the Saint, against the normal line. You can play the Saint Petersburg variation, but this Botvinnik system looks better. So it's up to you. Want to play the Botvinnik, or do you want to play the St. Petersburg? I'd play the Botvinnik personally, but I didn't know about it until this video. I'm learning along with you guys. There's also the last one I'm going to show you is cool. It's the 3 knights variation. This can transpose from the Bogo-Indian as well, which is cool. You can castle, or you can fianchetto. If you do this, though, I really like this system. We're threatening immediately to win material. Also, I like this kind of attack because it reminds me of the Icelandic gambit. If you remember, we have this knight e4 idea while their knight on c3 is pinned, and it's a cool idea, and we're gonna return to this idea in the Bogo-Indian as well. So like, let's look. Okay, white's only slightly better, right? They probably have to play this. Now we can go on fianchetto. And now we're back in the St. Petersburg, but this time, so we've kind of transposed into the St. Petersburg. It looks like we can capture. So I mean, lots of trading happening. Before I assume we castle now. Yep. Lots of trading. And this is kind of where it ends. Alright, look, white, we've equalized. White's only slightly better. Honestly, if I'm not looking at the engine recommendation, if white wants to play Bishop d3, I wonder if Bishop takes f3 is good. Just double the pawns. Just create problems. Create as many problems as you can. We can still probably play c5 at some point. I'm gonna just see. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. It took a second, but well, then it changed its mind. But I actually, yeah, that's practically what I would play. I wonder if c5 is okay. Well, we don't want to play it too early because now now this is bad. But you get the idea. c5 might come at some point. But like, look, this is not a passive opening. We can just, look at that. Look, this is wild. How many times do you see an opening where your body, besides like the hippo, where you just have a you're spamming pawns on the sixth rank? Not often. Not often at all. This is beautiful. I love this. This is the Saint Petersburg that you should play. It comes out of the three knights. So I think other Saint Petersburg. I'm gonna leave the other Saint Petersburg, but it's like more of a not theoretical. That's more of a like secondary line for a reason. So that was the Nimzo-Indian. Now we have the Bogo-Indian, which I honestly like even more. I think the Bogo-Indian is a really cool defense. The reason why, and I don't have as many lines, I only have like 5. The reason why the Bogo-Indian is so cool is because they're specifically like, yeah, I don't want to play against the Nimzo-Indian. And yeah, you can play d4, but I love that move. Bishop g4 anyway. They're like, okay, you don't want to play the Nimzo-Indian? I'm going to make you play it anyway. No, this can just transpose. And then the 3 knights. And we can go into the St. Petersburg again. First thing I want to show you is a trap. This is recommended. You can come back, or I just like castling. Just keep pressure. Here, now we can come back. We've already... This is the Grunfeld. We've already castled. They can start expanding on the queen side if they want. Like, maybe they want to play this. Probably not even a bad move. Okay, in this situation it is, because we can immediately attack with a5. Well, maybe b4 in the future. You know what I'm saying. But e4 is coming now. e4, d6. d6. Again, we're going... Don't be alarmed that they have a +3 advantage. Plus 0.3. Not, yeah, be alarmed if it's +3. That means something bad happened. But this is... Remember, you're playing black. You're already struggling. I'm going to show you a not very common move. This. If you play the other way, just know... If you play knight bd7, white doesn't do very well. Or white does well. Black doesn't do very well if you play knight bd7. But knight fd7 is the move to go for. It'll make sense in a minute. It's actually more active. It's a more active move. It sounds insane. Now we can bust through. And they can try to reroute, because now their knights connected. They would rather have a knight here. Just bust open the center. They'll capture back. Now look. Now we can play knight c6. And you can see now how our knights have a lot more activity. Looks weird initially, but just knowing I want my knight on c6. If you played knight bd7, you're not getting a knight on c6. It's just not happening. That's why I say this is more active. My coach agrees with me, and that's because that's where I learned it. Shoot down the diagonal here. Remember, they rerouted it so that they could come here. Now look at our knights. We're hitting the light squares. I'm just going to show you every square that's being attacked. And the dark squares. This looks absolutely crazy on Lee chess with the straight lines. But our knights are just covering light and dark squares. This is just wild. Yeah, they can kick it. They can kick it. But this is actually a trap. Because look. I actually think bishop captures. Bishop recaptures. Right? Knight captures. Well, what's going on? Uh-oh, you hung your knight. Well, actually I came out up a pawn. Came out up a pawn. After everything's said and done. And it's on a crazy good outpost. They have initiative. We're attacking that bishop. Threatening to trade as well. After, because of a discovered attack. This is... Well, I mean, you could... Look, no matter what, like, if you had another move, you could capture off that bishop. They could recapture with the queen, and then now there's no longer threats of trading. Fine. But, you're still up a pawn. You're calling the shots here. It's a really cool trap. So, even if white starts off good, it can fall apart very quickly. Let's look at another variation of the Grunfeld. Again, castle. The kick, right? You slide all the way back. And take the center. Oh, oops. And take this, fight for the center. They're going to play here. I'm going to come back. Oh, castle. Strike. And what if they push? If they push? Let's see, it's not a good move. Because, yep, it's like the engine said. H5. Or A5, sorry. A5. We're now... You'll recognize this looks like a King's Indian. This looks like a King's Indian defense. But, in my opinion, much better. We'll probably get a knight here at some point. Attack here. This is just good for us. If we're supporting this with A5. I know it sounds crazy, but we're preventing this. So that's why we're playing A5. We want our knight here. Now it's time to reroute. Bam! F5. An idea that is similar to the King's Indian defense. This Grunfeld variation of the Bogo-Indian is super similar to the King's Indian defense, but I prefer this. I think this is much better. And I'll go over why later when we talk quickly about the Nimzo-Indian. One more variation of the Grunfeld to show you before we continue. We're talking about the anti-Trumpowski, I'll call it, and I call it that. Um, I call it the Nimzo style anti-Trumpowski. I think it's really cool. So what if I do this? It's almost like a normal line, right? Not quite. Fianchettoing is a popular option. Right? And remember, there's that pop out idea if you double the pawns. Don't forget about that. C5. C5. Remember, C5 with the Nimzo-Indian and sorry. C5 with the Nimzo-Indian and the Bogo-Indian are really, really good choices. I'll also show you an anti-London. Nimzo style. It looks like, this is very forcing, right? You have to capture now. Otherwise, the bishop's just trapped. So, okay, you capture. Capturing back with the bishop makes the most sense. D6. Just continuing to fortify. They want to capture off. That's fine. We have this beautiful file to work with. It's a really pretty move. Our bishop supports our knight. We can jump in. Again, knight e4 and this system is nice. I'm calling this complex system because it's just a really flexible thing. Now we can come back. It's just a really flexible thing that can be played. I love the Nimzo-Indian. I wasn't happy until I found the Nimzo-Indian. I'm not even joking. I know this is the Bogo, but it's still the same thing. Well, it's okay. I'd say it's more similar than the Pierce and the King's Indian defense. I will say that the Pierce and the King's Indian defense are completely different. The Nimzo and the Bogo are very similar in a lot of ways. So what if instead this is played? Okay. Icelandic gambit ideas. Stockfish prefers this. I prefer this. Just fortify. Fortify your bishop. This is similar to the Icelandic gambit. Yep, they'll want to probably fianchetto. Just put another defender. Put another defender. Here. Now we'll go ahead and trade. We will go ahead and trade. They'll connect their knights. D6. We don't want to strike the center too early. I mean, we are striking the center, but we don't want to put a pawn on E5, D5, or C5 too early. Again, expanding. Expand. They'll play E4. Now we can play E5. And I mean, lots of options for both players. We'll reroute if this happens, or even to here. Again, notice how similar this is to King's Indian. If you're a King's Indian player, we haven't castled. We'll just lob a pawn down the board. Try to get a good hook. It's wild. It's wild stuff. This is aggressive. probably not something that your opponent is ready for when you playing the Nimzo-Indian. This is wild, or Bogo-Indian in this case, but you know what I mean. They are very similar. This is the Nimzovich, by the way, Nimzovich variation. I really like Black's game. Again, you haven't castled. It's not something White's probably prepared to play. You don't always have to castle. Most of the time, you want to castle and you're going to castle, but it's not always going to happen. Now, the obvious question, of course, but if they just immediately take? Thank you. Take back. And then we just went a pawn. We went a pawn. We are up a pawn. But just know that this queen's going to get kicked around a lot. Fine with me. Fine with me. We won a pawn against white. White's okay with this. They're going to get a lot of tempo moves on your queen. You want to stop that. Gonna get a lot of tempo moves, but just be prepared for that. Now we can play. Now we can take the center with d5. D5 is always an option. D5 is always an option. So now I'm going to show you what to do as a Nimzo/Bogo player against the Trumpowski and against the London. I call them both Nimzo style. Why? Well, because you're gonna play the Nimzo essentially. I'll start with the London because that's probably the thing that most people are afraid of. I'll show you why it doesn't have to be scary. E6. Okay? We're just following our plan. Are we going to play d5 yet? Nope, we're going to play c5. c5. London players don't want you to play c5. c5 is just brilliant, and they can fall into lots of traps really quickly. I know because I am a London player. Again, we probably will want to play d5 at some point. But right now, we are just happy playing nice developmental moves. Now we can play d5. And the point is that we have a really nice space advantage. We can even offer to trade bishops like this, which is hilarious. They capture, and now we just recapture. They can always take the center. Can play a move like this, protecting our knight, and just adding more resources to it. And now let's put our queen on the strong diagonal. Really strong diagonal. Just reroute our pieces. And this is not something a London system player probably wants. Yes, they have a little bit of an advantage. But I don't know. We have lots of things we can do. 94 C4. It's getting more space. Yeah, C4 B5 ideas. Um, um, Probably even knight D7, trade off the pawn, undermine it. Like what I'm thinking. Okay, let them overextend, right? Can jump there. What about here though? This is also fine. And now they've just kind of overextended, and I don't know. This is nice. This bishop's pretty strong. This is just a good position. It just is. So it's one thing you can do. As a Nimzo player. What else do we got? What else we got? I will also show you another really cool thing. A really cool anti-London. After this. Because, yes, this is an anti-London, but only in the sense that, like, they're not falling for traps. We're just building a good position. What if they just fortify instead? Then we trade into them after recapture. And, I mean, look at this position. It's just going to be a positional game. Remember, against D4, these are the kind of positions that you are okay with and you want. It's just going to happen. What you're going to have to deal with. So, what else? Again, starts off the same way, but let's say instead they go ahead and capture here. Well, this is not good. This is good for us. Now we have a really nice bishop, and I don't think I have to really go over this. I feel like most people would be comfortable. Okay, so C4 is the most popular, but they're probably, as a London player, they're probably going to do something like this. And look at this. They're forced to play Queen C1. Queen C1, by the way, I play the London system. Queen C1 is a good idea. A lot of the time. In certain positions. Let's just go until castle. Again, they're probably not going to think of C4 as a London player. We can go after that bishop. And now they aren't even going to really want a castle. This is great. I'd say just castle. Castle yourself. Let them overextend and now come back. I mean, look. We have thwarted the London just because they decided to capture our pawn on c5. So that's fun. And I will be back in 1 second. I am going to show you another very funny trap against the London. That feel free to play. Feel free to play. But I don't know. It's completely up to you. It's not Nimzo style. It's this move. immediately. So I like this move for a couple reasons. The reasons why I like it: London players just wanna play London, right? You're already going to start off with knight f6, wanting to play the Nimzo-Indian or Bogo-Indian. But you see the London, and you can immediately play crazy looking move, knight h5. And this is probably something I will play occasionally, if I'm being honest. Lots of options. They can go there, and you go back. One option. Okay. What else? You can go here. You're happy with that. Both players are actually happy because you give them a semi-open H file, which they can use to their advantage. Yes, but you also won the bishop pair. You're happy. They could also play. I'll save the best option for last. I also play this, but again, you just go back. London player doesn't want this. Best move is here. And now it just looks like, okay, your knight's misplaced. Sure. Now you play c6. c6 is a really cool move. c6 is a very, very cool move. Why? This is purely psychological. They are not going to see this coming if they don't know about it. What does a London system player want to play? They want to play e3. Now think about it. If they play e4, you almost have like a Carl Khan, like a weird looking Carl Khan. So they want to play e3, and they blunder with e3. And now you just won a piece because you play queen a5 check, and this is already resignable. Because look, the bishop can't come back. I would not say it's resignable. This is a minus 1.3 advantage, but this is out of the opening. This is the kind of thing you want. And white human would play h4 here. It looks terrible. But you're also hitting this though, so their bishop's being overworked as well. This is such a nice trap. Like I said, e4 is the best because if they play e4, now the bishop can retreat, and your knight's being hit. So don't blunder and do this, because then this happens, and oops, now I'm the one who loses material. So okay, that's why recommendation is just, this is kind of like a King's Indian setup. So just be comfortable playing the King's Indian if you're going to play this. Very fun trap. Maybe try it on strict time controls. Like bullet 3-minute blitz. Have fun. It's a cool little thing. Now I'm going to show you the anti-Trumpowski. Nimzo style. I love the Trumpowski. I use the Trumpowski. It's starts with bishop g5. Now you can go into the main line, and they can go into the Raptor, and you can have something like this. This is fine, but we're Nimzo players here. We're looking to allow them to take this big center and counterattack with d5 at some point. Don't do it now, or else you just lose your knight. Kick the bishop. They'll probably want to maintain the pin. Oops, don't do that. And play g5. Play g5. They'll have this, and your structure is kind of unfortunate. But look, you want a pawn. This is a trap. They fell for your trap. So what went wrong? This is the move. Bishop h4 is a mistake because now you win a pawn. Isn't that cool? And again, you're going to win the bishop pair. So yeah, you have a jank pawn structure on your king side, but you won a pawn. This is good. So that's a Trempowski player is probably not going to screw that up. So instead, after the big center, that would be smart just to capture. They'll develop. If they overextend, you're fine with that, by the way. And now look, we're back to something that looks similar to a Nimzo-Indian, Bogo-Indian complex. I don't really think I don't think I have to go too much over this. Something like this, and then probably castle. Or d6. They long castle. Well, short castle at some point. Even now. We can have a good game. This is a nice game. So, there you go. Now I'm going to show you. We're really getting crazy. This is anti-Trempowski. We're playing Nimzo style versus London style. What does this mean? Instead of taking the big center, what if they go here? The classical. Now they can go back, and they can tempt us to overextend, but we're not going to. We're going to hit them with c5. Remember when I told you about the anti-London, you want to play c5? And that's why playing knight c6 is seldom a good idea against the London. At least not before you play c5. Because now they're playing the Trempowski like a London, and we have this option of c5. Now we have our same kind of plan and structure as I previously showed you. So, have fun. Have fun. You don't have to be afraid of the Trempowski or the London. They're both really good openings. Very solid, but you don't have to be afraid of them. You really don't. Wow, that covers everything, doesn't it? We went over the Yeah, I mean, we went over the Nimzo-Indian, the Bogo-Indian, the anti-London, and um, the anti-Trumpowski. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. I did not talk about the King's Indian, but we can, real quick. King's Indian. Lots of options. Lots of options. Um, just we'll go ahead and click on like the most likely moves. This is the kind of position you'll get out of the King's Indian, and it's great. Now with the King's Indian defense, usually when you want to reroute your knight here, you want to play a5, you want to play knight a6, and you're going to go after this pawn. You want to play a5 or f5 at some point, and going for an absolutely crazy attack. That's what you want to do with the King's Indian defense. This is a great setup. This is very aggressive. C5 is an option instead of playing e5. It depends on the position. You can have great success for this. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. I'll tell you right now. You're a King's Indian defense player, and they drag you into a Pierce. I have bad news. You have to know how to play a Pierce defense. And that's great. Until you have to deal with the 150 attack. I'd say this is bad. This is bad for black, in my opinion. This is like a 150 attack. It's very, very scary. Why? Well, let's just say castle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now what? They're gonna trade off for the fianchettoed bishop, and there's nothing you can do. And they can just hold it there. If you take the bishop, that's better for them. So now you're just sitting here, and you're like, well, shit. Guess I have to attack the center. And yeah, go ahead, attack the center. But look at these. Look at this. The win percentage for white is crazy. So that's why I say the Pierce is completely different than the King's Indian defense. They are ahead of tempo because they never played c4, and they never played c4, so they can also play bishop c4. I'm telling you, the Pierce defense is a good and solid defense. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Because on top of King's Indian defense theory, you also have to know Pierce defense theory. I'll say this. If I didn't play the Scandinavian defense, if I didn't play the modern Scandinavian, I might opt to play the King's Indian defense and the Pierce defense. Why? Well, the cool thing is that they are similar. I mean, they're different, but they are similar. Right? You get the same kind of setup. Kolmov's system's scary even. You get the same kind of setup the King's Indian like setup, and you can play the King's Indian defense, the Pierce defense against anything. So that's what I'll say. That is cool. So if you're a King's Indian defense player, play Pierce defense because you're gonna see it a lot. Players are gonna transpose into it a lot because I think they know that the Pierce defense has more problems than the King's Indian defense. There are similar ideas, but it's just not. It's just not good. And also, let's. What do you? This is why, as a King's Indian defense player, against a Trapowski attack, this is not something you want. Yeah, Stockfish will say you're doing just fine, but this is ugly. You don't wanna. You don't want to Fianchetto and Castle. You nuts? Like Stockfish will tell you to do it, but look at the winning chances. So I'm just telling you, this is fine. This is completely fine. It's just not something I ever want to deal with. Ever again. I've dealt with it enough. And I much prefer the Nimzo-Indian and Bogo-Indian. They can be probably not quite as aggressive, but at the same time, your king's going to be safe. You can have a nice positional game, and you have a lot of winning chances. You really do. So I'll just hit save. Hopefully this saved because I have a lot of work here. I still need to go back and add some things for my modern Scandi. I want to check something real quick. It's Icelandic. What if? Okay, I don't have this. I actually faced off against this. What happens if you see this? You take. You take. Why? Otherwise, you're just going to be down a pawn for no reason. So you have something like this, and I lost. It was a casual game. You still have this pen. It was a casual game I played at the chess club against like 1400 rated player, and he just never took that pawn. And I never talked about what happens if they don't take a pawn. Well, you take. So simple, very simple. So I went over a lot, and I don't know everything. I was going over it with you. I was learning along with you. That's the whole point. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice. Look, we have that. I always hit that. And we have the Nimzo. So let's practice. No, we're not playing master level. We'll play. We'll start with something bad, like this. Okay, so this is the normal line, like I talked about. I think C5 is what we talked about. Still have a pin. We can castle. Don't mind castling here. Nimzo-Indian defense bishop attack. So now we've already encountered a different line. I'm worried about that in the future. Probably not too scary though. I think B6. B6. No, we can't play knight E4 because of the bishop. Structurally, this would probably be bad. I wonder if even like a A deal like that, I'd say that's hope chess. I don't like this. Here. I think, okay, now that they connected, I think we just play positionally. So b6 is good. Let's just immediately just go after this weakness. And we're playing a 700 rated bot, so I knew it was going to make mistakes. Yeah, this is completely winning. They blundered a rook. So I don't think we need to keep going with this. Let's crank it up to 1,000. Okay, so classical. Remember, just capture off. Okay, it's saying don't do that. It's saying d5 instead. It's also an option. Noah variation. Now we're in the Noah variation. Maybe this is better than what I was talking about. Let's say castle. Yeah, h6 is also, and then yeah, this. Wow, just go here. Yeah, like I said, 94 check. Look at this. We're already just destroying them. Now I'm curious. That's what I said, right? Against oh no, castle. So don't trade off. Wait until they kick you to trade off. Wait until they exert resources. You know, that pen... I always press F10. That pen's just gonna stay there. Just let it stay. Let the pen stay there. Play d5. Now we probably don't want to fianchetto. Options like this. We have like here, just getting, this is almost like a Slav now, a semi-Slav. No, it would be a Slav. You can transpose into something that looks like a Slav. We can capture. Let's say that's probably not good. Because they can fix it really easily. Can't jump here because the bishop just captures. We could, actually. That knight's gonna have to jump somewhere. So it says it's just a good move. It's fine. Now that they castle... Oh, I don't know why they did that. That just gives up knight. Now we can just start trading everything. So, yeah. Let's kick it up to 1,200. So the normal line. Castle. My stomach hurts, by the way. I'm hungry. I'm very hungry. Bishop attack. Play even d6. Let's just do that. Let's show what happens in d6. Now we're pretty much forced to capture, right? Okay, even against the... It said it was an inaccuracy. c5. Oh yeah, we can just anchor. We could anchor the bishop. Let's just do that. Remember, you can always anchor the bishop. A cool idea. Now, actually, like bishop d7. Getting kind of scary for white. Maybe our position's a little cramped. It's okay. The knight c6 is good. That's just wins material. No, it doesn't. What I can do though, kick. Yeah, this is bad for white. Um. Oh, fork. There's that. And then I don't know. Then what? I would say take and then take. Yeah, go. I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna just take. Is that inaccurate? But whatever. I don't know what would be better. Be here. Oh no, definitely not. Knight e2. Knight e2. Oh, that's for them. Bishop takes c4. Wait, what? I don't know what it's saying. Bishop? Or b takes c4. I was gonna say. So this is the best move. Yeah, this is easy, easy. Let's crank it up to 1500. Or we'll say 1600. Let's do that. Okay, so this is the uh, mock variation. Obviously, we can't go over every variation. This is looking like a sandwich. So c5, like I said. Yeah, you're not going to be able to memorize everything. You're not going to see everything. They might not even know what they're doing. Castle, because they might overextend, or they might do this, and either you capture back the F pawn and you don't want to, or you capture back here and then you lose your castling privileges. Let's see one more. So castle. And they play king f2. I'm saying that king f2 is so bad. I'm fine just trading off the bishop. Honestly, d6 I like. You want to capture? I'll capture. I have a nice center. Yeah, d6 was best. So you can see I'm finding these moves pretty easily. The Nimzo-Indian is just kind of easy to play. Like the ideas are pretty simple. It's not easy to play. No opening is. But the ideas are just there. And now remember that idea where I have a bishop here and I just attack? That's what I'm going to do. b6. So is this inaccurate? Okay, fine. e6. I can even play here. Attack this, then, or this. This is more forcing. I was like, how if I go here, how's this defended? Well, they can play here. They can play here. There's ways to defend it. It's kind of hope chess. So instead of trying to win material, let's just instead of trying to play hope chess, just go for positionally sound ideas. And as you can see by Stockfish, all of that was correct. Now instead of, I know we talked about going backwards. Let's go forward. Go forward. And again, all these are like the best moves or good moves. You can see how nice this pawn structure is. We want to go maybe here and here before that. So let's go here. Rook e8. This is weak. So we can just jump in immediately, and that protects d6. Or we can go here, and that protects d6. And queen e7, yeah. You can see, like, look, I'm not up any material. I'm not up a pawn. I'm not up a piece. I just positionally have an easy game. Like, this is not a hard game to play. Every move I make is good, and I'm winning. If I play perfectly, I just win this game. That's why I like positional openings. I'm very excited for the tournament, by the way. So I'm actually not 100% sure in this situation what move to play. I think knight here is good. It's inaccurate. Okay. Because the bishop comes down. And that sucks. That really sucks. But I'm still winning. Even with that inaccuracy. Knight h5 was the best. I was considering knight h5, but it just looked like it. Yeah, I attacked the bishop, but then my knight's just kind of on the rim. But there was no way for him to kick it either. So, fine. Still winning. That was just a good move. Maybe now I can go here. Yeah, best move. I don't want to retreat. This queen has more activity now. Now that knight has moved. So I messed up a little bit. Oh, I fixed this pawn structure. That's why that's inaccuracy. Now things are a bit unclear of who has an edge. So, but still, I would take black here. Would definitely take black here. This is a good game. Just have a good game. And with that, I think I will take a break. So I will be back soon. Okay, I took a long break because I was really hungry and I was feeling pretty weak. Anyway, this game's pretty much over. Let's play another game. So normal line again. Recommend just castling. Oh, I also had it turned up way loud. Doesn't matter that much. Now this is the Reshevsky variation. Never heard of it. I think maybe just C5 still. We're in the Rubinstein. I would like to hold on to the bishop. I can't. here. I mean, I can, I will, but it's not necessary. Um, I can even probably just, yeah, no, this is not good. So I should have just immediately taken. Now here. Do something about this pawn. Um, b6. C takes d4. Okay. So basically it's saying just go ahead and take. I mean, it's an Indian defense, so it's starting to look like King's Indian for a reason. D5, yeah, just again, waiting for the right time to strike is what's important here. D4 is kind of a little bit weak. Absolutely do not take here though. But what I can do is this. Connect the knights, do this. Try to tie down this queen. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to play a5 first. It's a mistake. Don't know why. Knight c6. So it's just saying knight c6 right away. But I worried about... Oh, this can't be played because I would have just taken it. So, I mean... You get the idea. I mean, even e5 at some point... e5 is an interesting idea, I think. Yeah, like I said, it's the best move. Yeah, I was gonna say now it's just completely crushing for me. Equal material, but look what I got going on here. Now I have this move. Okay, d4 was best. Now let's see what's wrong about this though. Oh. I mean, this is still completely winning. You get the point. There were better moves. Even like that. Now look. Just, ooh, you know what? You could probably even sacrifice. No, it's a blunder. I just really liked... It says it's a blunder, but look, this is still... Like, material is even. I don't know. Because I was up a pawn, I did that. Still completely winning. It's a creative move. And it reminds me of Ali Ekin's gun. I just feel you're just gonna bust through. I mean, yeah, I didn't calculate it, but... So... D4 is best. I can't take. D3 doesn't work anymore because now that's covered everything. But it looks like it would fork. So, I mean, this is just the kind of game you're gonna get. It's a cool idea. Okay, let's do this again. With the if you see this move, yeah, it's the Kmok, I guess, but it's also very similar to the other one we talked about. The same-ish. Play c5. Uh, Castle. Or even just capture. Just capture. Just do it. And now I'm gonna be winning material because this and that. Now we have double pawns, but we're up 2 pawns. Not for long because of that move, but we can even play. We can even play b5, holding on. I think b5 is a nice option. So this is a mistake because they just immediately undermine it, and now I can't play a6. So it's still easy to fall into traps. So, by the way, I can't play a6 because if you play a6, a takes b5, and then a can't take on b5 because then your rook's hanging. So still winning. I mean, probably bishop here. Inaccurate because of this move. Should have just castled. Okay. You get the point. Like, even I've played some inaccurate moves. Oh, and then that hangs. Yeah, and now they're kind of tearing me apart. So you have to be careful. Don't try to greedily do this. This is seldom a good idea. Maybe even d6 is fine. D6. Oh, because you can just immediately go after it. So I don't really know 100% of one-on-ones. Maybe here. We need 5 hits. It wants, okay, wow, it wants d5. It's like immediately strike the center. And oh, we're 2 pawns ahead. This is cool. It's gonna be easily defended with I like that actually. I'll tell you why I prefer this. Well, queen e7, so yeah. So queen e7. Oh, queen e7. Look at this. So you have to look at moves that do more than one thing. So not only am I defending this, I have a great attack, and I can even create a battery. Wow, this is crazy. We're gonna talk about the Bogo-Indian now. And I don't know how long I've been recording this. I forgot to start back, but that's okay. I don't need it. Let's play the Bogo-Indian now. So yeah, Nimzo-Indian. Bogo-Indian is black. Okay, we talked about the Grunfeld. And I already kind of forget. I think we just castle. Or you can play d5. Come back. c5 is also possible. I think d6 though, preventing this. Yeah, d6. Okay. And then now I have e6 option. Alright, e5 options. I think this is the move here. At fd7. Whoa! Lobbing a pawn. c5, but c5 looks kind of I don't know if I still want to play c5. Maybe a5. Well, not in this position. c5, really? Okay. Capture towards the center. I'm not even really calculating much. I'm just using basic ideas. Now I am down because I made a mistake earlier. Or inaccuracy, more like. I'm gonna play here, actually. Oh, they do that. Yeah, now they've got me. Now they're clamped down. I didn't realize that Queen was saying it. I was thinking I could win a piece, a rook. Nope. So back here, where did things go wrong? So I should have immediately just played c5. Now that they overextended that, it's not really an overextension. You can go after like that one. Potentially. It'd be. I mean, there's the bishop. Go like here. It's a simple move. And don't forget about moves like that. Sometimes they're nice. You can a6, b5. I don't mind that. Now we're down a pawn though, because I wasn't calculating. I wasn't paying attention. You get the idea. This is the. I mean, I'm not playing super well, but if you really thinking about your moves, you should get in a position that's fairly good. So what if you forget castle? Well, you can remember that as an option as well. I almost am tempted to play like a Scandinavian player. I have a pen. Yeah, I figured it wasn't right, but I just don't play stupid moves. Just go for something like that. Love to be able to play here. How do I undermine this? Well, I can play here or here. Problem is if I play there, it blocks off the bishop. If I go here, though, then this would be advantageous to them because I don't like. No, that doesn't work in this position. Yeah. Second probably inaccurate. Knight d6. Or bishop d6 was the idea. Oh, bishop d6, I'm sorry. Well, funny enough, you can actually hit that, and they can't kick you because then they just kick you into it. Look at how many holes. I mean, technically that too, h3, but I don't know. And they just blundered a pawn. Oh no, they don't. Still good for you. Now you can almost play here. You play here, they take, you take. G6 is inaccurate, but it still worked. And now they screwed up because they didn't capture the knight. So now I can offer a check. And even just... It's looking like my king's really weak, but at the same time, I'm going to be getting material off the board real quick. So you could go here. I actually do like this check. Yep, and it was the best move. And if he had gone for it, I would have walked off. Now I won the bishop. You see the whole point. And now this is minus 11. Insane. Insane. Knight takes e3. Oh, here. Let me show you knight takes e3. That's the whole point. Now you've invaded. You gave up. Now you're only up one pawn, but you come in, you invade. Now there's really nothing that white can do. I think of where my queen should go. With this bishop. Kind of up in the air. Oh, bishop. Just look for tempo moves at this point. Oh, blunder. That. Oops. Still completely winning. Now I have this skewer. Oh, no, because of the knight. Oops. Now I'm completely lost. Oh, that was my bishop. I thought that was a pawn. Okay, look for tempo moves, but also don't blunder. Bishop d4 is a blunder, too. Rook e2 check. Saying just keep going down. Probably even that. Yep. Okay, tempo moves. Like I said, tempo moves, because now with these tempo moves, nothing's hanging. You'll probably even play here now. Mistake. That's right, because this is guarding here. So C5. Okay, you get it. Like, I'm just trying to give you examples. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to go here. Still a mistake. You get the point. Again, I don't think we talked about this move. Oh, we did. We did. I like the Icelandic. This is the Nimzo-Indian variation. If they take into to you, that's good. Simple kind of plan. Oh, yeah, you can't do that. That's why that works. So watch out for traps if they try to... Because remember, your queen is protecting your bishop. So don't blunder. And then you can't even capture the knight, or else your queen falls. Just knight c6. Let's go with instead. Now I pretty much have to trade. That's completely fine. D5. Can't play c5 in this line. But d5 you can. No fork on me. Alright, even if there was, just go back. Sorry. I feel like if you tried that, they would just push or take. Oh, we're just playing chess here. White's winning. White's winning, but again, we're on defense, so I think that's fun. I feel like I need like another hour of sleep before I have my tournament. I'm I'm, I'm feeling fatigued. I don't know what's recommended. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, but then this and the yeah, so can't do that because I don't even know why I tried it. F5 at some point even looks more. Not right now. I just played it because it looks interesting. I will be right back. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna play one more Bogo-Indian example game, and then I think I will call it. And that doesn't mean this is the last practice I'm doing. Obviously not. In here, the whole point is you're just practicing. You're practicing. I wonder about A5. A5 is good. Whole idea being, well, whole idea being you're opening up this this up for rook lifts at some point. So this is an interesting idea. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. Yeah. And then notice I was hitting here. And now this semi-open file is looking really strong. Look, you can even they're attacking here, but you could just play b3. So it's inaccurate. That's kind of obnoxious. It's inaccurate because they just do that. You can't even kick it because then they just capture it. But the whole point is this is an interesting little position we have going. I almost want to play here, here, here. That's slow. But even so, yeah, obviously I'm just blundering everything. I'm just showing you how to play bad chess. All right, I need to get like an hour or two sleep. And I don't know. I will be excited to attend the tournament, and I can't wait to see how I do. Nervous, but I'm just gonna have fun. It's like from 5 to 10. So I'll probably leave here around 4. Get there early. I'm gonna have to sign up for or have an account with USCF or whatever, just so I can finally have an official rating, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to show off the Nimzo-Indian, Bogo-Indian, especially because I'm doing the tournament tonight, and I wasn't as well versed with Nimzo-Indian and Bogo-Indian as I was with like the Scandi, because like I said, I just pretty recently switched away from the King's Indian. I switched from that to Semi-Slav, and then I was like, Semi-Slav is cool, but it's a little, I don't know. Semi-Slav I like. I prefer Semi-Slav over King's Indian defense, but but then I was like, okay, Nimzo-Indian. I looked into it, and this is my favorite against d4. Nimzo and Bogo. Actually, I almost like Bogo more. So yeah, I don't know. It's very positional. Be willing to trade off your bishop pair. Be willing to retreat. Be willing to play c5. Be willing to have a positional game. Be willing to be down a pawn. Be willing to be up a pawn. It's a wild opening. It's a lot of fun. Um, other other thoughts is play openings that are similar to each other. So, King's Indian and Pierce, Karl Khan and Slav or Semi-Slav. Let's see. Also, is E4 D4 that's similar. Oh, E5 D5. Play that even. Play E5 D5. It's not my favorite thing to play, but it is one of the best responses. Respectively. So E4 is met with D5, or D4 is met with D5. Play, yeah, just play similar stuff. You know, you don't have to play anything crazy. Lots of options. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Peace.